move on to It's coming, it's coming. Hello, evening. Hi there. Okay, we're running a bit late, so I think we're going to start now. People are waiting online other places to see what's going on. Welcome to the Tech Lab, and thank you for coming out in the rain. I saw a lot of people walking in quite wet, but thank you for making it. Just if you're new to Event Tech Lab, have a look at that. That's what we do. We engage with the whole supply chain in the event tech area, from investors through to tech companies, exhibition companies, big buyers of event technology, small buyers of event technology, coders, and of course startups who we're going to hear from tonight. If we just give you a bit of news about what the lab is doing, we do these events every couple of months where we see pictures. We're going to be going over to IMEX in America and running some education sessions there on event technology and talking about our startups. We're going to be doing an interactive session at IBTM in Barcelona in November, again on event technology. Everybody wants to know about IBTM. Abby, is from IBTM, and she's also our community manager for the Event Tech Lab. And then we'll be at the conference summit in December. That's 300 event buyers in London talking about the conference industry. Again, we'll be doing Event Tech Lab, talking about startups and things like that. And then obviously the big one, and people sponsoring tonight, Event Tech Live, on the 11th of November, Truman Brewery, and then the Event Technology Awards happening in the evening. So hope to see you all down there as well. And then one other thing, our friends at Hipsters, Hackers and Hustlers are doing a Techtoberfest. So if you want some tech geekery, craft beer, a bit of fun, if you want to wear some lederhosen, they've given us a special discount code. There you go. So just hashtag Techtoberfest and put in that code, and they'll look after you. Okay, and last of all, thank you to Event Tech Live for sponsoring tonight, Campus London for hosting us, Lee from Amaze Wall, who's doing his thing here, the technical side, and the University of Westminster. We've got some lovely, happy helpers out there at the reception. Okay, so what I'd like to do is kick off, and our first person that's going to be pitching is Pheedloop. So we're going to get Rahul then, are we?
No, we've only got Mira.
Oh, we've only got Mira. So should we go to Boomset and get in touch with Mira? Hello, Mira.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Can everyone
Can
see
everybody
me?
see Mira? Mira's from Boomset in New York, so she's going to talk about what they do.
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's kind of funny. I'm staring at my laptop, but I see all of you from the back. I see all of your heads. So I'm going to just jump in and get started. I'm going to put on a presentation. Just a little about myself. I am somebody who comes from the event planning background. I was an event planner for 7 years in New York, planning with lots of different charities and different organizations, sometimes doing as many as 50 events a year, doing everything from conception all the way through the final product. And then I joined Boomset. So my first week in New York, I had a job at a company, and they said, okay, your job is to create a holiday party for 1,000 people. I said, sure, no problem. I can do this. I've done this before. No problem. Friday afternoon rolls around. The party was Saturday night. We sold 800 tickets. I said, great, we're doing well. The marketing worked, the idea worked, the concept, perfect. And then Friday night happened. We sold 1,000 tickets. We shut down ticketing. I said, okay, we're ready to go. I printed out 5 or 6 different lists. I had my highlighters and my color-coded dots, and I knew who was going to check people in the door. Saturday night happened. I had 1,000 people inside. I had 1,000 people waiting outside. The party had oversold, and I had no way to expedite people in the door. From an event planning purpose, from that standpoint, it was a mess. Yes, I had a lot of people in the door, but the check-in process was not good. People who paid were not in. People who didn't pay got in. We had no idea anything what was going on. And some people said it was a success. I said this was a failure. So Monday morning, I said there has to be another option. And that's when I found Boomset. I found another company that does check-in and the badge printing, everything on site. And since I moved with Boomset, I've never done an event with a paper ticket. So I'm going to talk to you a little about the Boomset system, but I'm also really going to talk about the company and how it's progressed. And I'm going to share my screen with you and go over the Boomset system. Let's see, can you see?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we like to say Boomset is an event management CRM. We have a lot of different features. We can talk about them all. If you're an event planner and want to do a specific event, then I can talk to you. We do check-in, name badge printing, session scanning, lead retrieval, kiosk, all the good stuff. But what I think is most relevant is how I, as a event planner, went from to be Boomset's first customer to now I've been with the company as, working for the company for the past year, and now as their COO, and talk about the transition that the company really has gone through, because I think it's more interesting than learning about lead retrieval, but I think it's more relevant for everybody who's in the tech world. The company started in 2009 by programmers, people in the tech world. They know how to build a beautiful product. They built, you can see that we were the first company to offer like a check-in guest list in 2009. The magnetic card readers, we did this before Square did. We were the first company also who did check-in and badge printing actually on site. But like as the phrase goes, like if you build it, will they come? That's not necessarily true. We had this beautiful product that did all these amazing things. We were first to market, but yet we didn't have the marketing or the sales to really show where the company was going. The company took a good look at themselves, and they said, we cannot continue. We are at $39,000 in sales for an entire year. They were $30,000 in sales for an entire year, and they were about to close up shop. They said, we cannot continue like this. It's not, we built it, they're not coming, we've been first to market, people aren't noticing. Everything that you plan and think that's going to happen as a company really just didn't happen. So as the techies and like the founders of our company are making calls to their investors saying, okay, we're done, we're going to shop. One of their investors said, give me 1 month and I will turn you into a profitable company. We're going to start selling. All the tech guys were like, no, we can't do this. We're foreign, we're Turkish. Nobody's going to understand our accent. We know how to code. We don't know how to sell. Ends up being, in 1 month, they closed $39,000. This is more than they made in the entire year prior. They said, okay, this is going. This is good. I think we can do this. They closed deal after deal after deal. And then what happened? Our next obstacle, they were feeling good. And then the market exploded. I'm sure everyone who is an event professional knows. You've got Eventbrite, you've got Cvent, you've got the apps, the visibility, eTouches, Double Dutch. Everywhere you look, there's 100,000 different. There's a lot of different things that are going on. Did my screen stop sharing? Can you see? Okay. So the market was crazy. So we decided we're fighting all these people, and we are maxing out at $38,000 a month in sales. And yes, we work with Eventbrite, or we could work with Double Dutch, but how would it work? We changed our platform. And instead of looking at everybody else's competition, we decided we're going to rename ourselves the Switzerland of event technology. How we did this is we opened up our API. We connect with everybody. We have partnerships with all these different major companies listed here and are growing every day. And we realized that the only way to succeed as a company is for us to have multiple sources of income, but to be able to work with everyone else. Just because, we learned that big companies and big events like to work with, let's say, an Eventbrite, but they need something specific that we offer, and we don't want to make it complicated. We do it direct the API, and it works well. So it's nice to say that our company is growing and we're flourishing because of these partnerships. And so instead of when we hit the ceiling, instead of saying what are we going to do, we really took a look at ourselves and said, okay, let's open ourselves up. These are just people who've closed in the past, I would say 6 weeks with Boomset. We're very lucky. We're doing very well. You see there's some big names here: Target, BizBash, Danbury, United Way, lots of different events that are happening. But also, we're growing. So we're seeing that our overseas market is growing, and we're expanding. Right now, I would say 60% of our business is US-based, and the rest is overseas. So yeah, things are going well with Boomset. We can talk more about the specifics. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Hold on.
Mira, we have time on your pitch, I'm afraid. We've gone over the 5 minutes.
What?
Now, have you got any ending remarks for us?
I want to say that the event was very empty and it got crowded very quickly. And I recently heard a quote that said, to be illiterate nowadays is not to be unable to read, but the inability to learn and relearn things. And as a company, I think that's what we're doing. As a startup, we have the opportunity to learn and relearn and see what works and doesn't work, and see what the customers need, and see how we can grow and expand. And I think that's the key to Boomset's success, is that we can really captivate on the growing market and make changes quickly to fit everyone's needs.
Great. Has anybody got a question for Mira? Have you got any questions on that? No? Okay, Mira, thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone. If you have any questions about Boomset, let me know. All of our specific tech products and our apps. But I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next up I'd like to welcome Anthony from Event Ninja to talk about what he's doing. And that's up on the screen there for you, Anthony.
Thank you, James. How are the ones doing this evening? Good. Excellent. My name is Anthony Francis. I'm one of the founders of Event Ninja. And Event Ninja is an event platform for event organisers to improve their marketing with analytics. So if you're an event organizer, you most probably be using technology that's involved. You're creating events in the dark. You're always back at square one when you run your events. What's this photo? It's an event, right? And what do you see? People, right? If the foundation of events is people, then why do popular event technology keep tracking basics, ticket sales? We believe the future and the next generation of event platforms will focus on understanding the people and their real-life interactions. So, with Event Ninja, you'll be reducing the time, money, and resources spent on your organising and running your events. You'll be able to easily identify trends which directly contribute to the sales, do really cool things like identify where is your most valuable attendees coming from. You make smart decisions, understand what exactly is happening at your event and promote it. And obviously, we will be able to sell more tickets. See the full picture. We do something really cool where we allow you to forecast revenue from the next event based on previous spending trends. So let's take a look. So with Event Ninja, as I said, is our foundation. We allow you to query and send direct messages to a subset of your growing database. So if you run multiple events, you know, show me you can spend more than £60. You have skills of content of that have data, events, and machine learning. Skills of experts in project management. Boom, 365 people running an event on your subset group, and you can send them a direct message or feedback, or even if you want to re-engage or champion them. We allow you to visualize the engagement and who's actually attending your events. So in this case, you can say, okay, show me, event one had 167 people, only 17 people from event one came from event A came from event one, sorry. And show where your money is best spent. So like I said, we allow you to show, see where your most valuable attendees are coming from, allow you to forecast your revenue from your previous event trends, and much, much more. And finally, we allow you to save and empower your marketing team to take action on what they've learned. So you can easily bookmark this, export it, and we also have a really robust communication manager built into the platform. So how much does it cost? £29 a month. Your first 150 users are free on your database, and it's £1 for every 50 users that's added in your database. And what's next? Join Kickstarter customers, Infobus, and free startup school in our private beta today. You can contact me at anthony@ninja.io, and I'm happy and open to any questions. That's it. Woo! Any questions?
Where's the kind of the main kind of income going to come from? Is it going to come from the exhibition sector? Or?
So currently we are focusing on what we call B2B small, so very large event organisers who do regular events, meetup groups, but we actually are liaising with like enterprise customers like media companies, and we are looking to put together a package for enterprise solutions. But currently it's subscriptions and commission ticket sales.
Do you guys recommend which should to send email or which should engage in order to drive higher sales? Or is it automatically you guys select?
So do you recommend
Like for example, you can filter the different users, right? So do you actually recommend look, these are the people that
Not at the moment, but we definitely should talk afterwards. Or once a day, talk how that could potentially work. But we can definitely do it, but not at the moment. So we can talk.
Do you create other systems like Delta?
No, at the moment. But I think what really needs to happen, I'd love to happen, is that all these ideas, we can definitely talk about how we can facilitate that. But it's something that we are looking.
So you're evolving as a company, really?
We are, yes, evolving as a company.
Aside from the monthly subscription, do you take a commission for ticket sales over generates?
Yes, we do. So, commission is 2% of the total value of the ticket and 50p each ticket sold. So we are quite competitive in the market, but we hope that you choose us not because we're cheaper, but it's a better solution in this market. But yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony, thank you very much. Okay, and next up, I think Lee's got Teresa in Singapore. You got Teresa for us? Everybody see Teresa?
Hi.
Hi. We're looking for you. There you are.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
All right. What are you going to tell us today, Teresa?
I'm going to just start my screen share now. One sec. Tell me if you can see that. Yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Cool. Hi, I'm Teresa from Play2 Lead, fantastically simple audience interaction. Thanks for your time. What we do is we help companies increase their customer and employee engagement and derive actionable insights by making those learning moments fun and engaging and rewarding, from conferences through meetings, webinars, feedback forms, and to digital campaigns and EDMs, for example. So the problem we solve is, as you know, customer and employee engagement and feedback is at an all-time low. So no matter how beautiful the latest survey tools are, and no matter how mobile friendly they are, the reality is there's really just nothing in it for the audience member to actually take that time to give you the data and insights that you're looking for. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a preview, and you can play along if you like. So go to your URL, go to play2lead.co/ETL. This is a quick one I just mocked up. And you can just get started and log in through social media or email. You'll see a menu, and then I'm just going to show you just the quiz, and there'll be 2 questions. You decide what the answer is. The faster you answer correctly, the higher your points. You get some immediate feedback. And this is a sponsor a moment, or you can put in a digital reward or coupon. If it was a poll, you get that feedback loop there at the end as well, to see what are the specific questions you got right or wrong. And then for the quiz, you get an individual leaderboard. And then for polls, it's the same, except there is no right or wrong, and you can also answer anonymously. And then again, that feedback loop in real time. And then you can also see for both quizzes and polls who else answered like you, so you can immediately connect with them on social media. And you can obviously answer some qualitative questions as well. All the points then add up to an overall leaderboard, so the more you engage, the higher your score. So I'll give you an example of where Samsung recently used us for a product roadshow. And just audiences just love the interactivity. Without any downloads, it's just really easy to use. But for the organizer, they could then get that real-time feedback because 90% of the audiences logged in and was able to participate throughout the whole day. And with that high engagement, they were able to get real-time insights into every single participant and every single day of the roadshow, so they could make real-time changes to their format and content to make each show better, each day better than the rest. So with that Play2 Lead, as I said, survey participation and engagement, when you measure it, can be as little as 20%. But because we have that fun social context, for Samsung, for example, they got up to 90%. And this is designed for not for anonymous login as most survey tools are, but we can get up to 100% known login rate. So you know exactly who's voted what. So you can actually start the engagement before the event, during the event, after the event. So for example, during the event, before the event could be an EDM. In the event, it's just a live engagement. After the event, could be something like a webinar. And just really pulling the customers, the audience engagement funnel, as well as if your purpose is for lead generation, you're just pulling them through with that lens in mind. So examples of how some of our customers have used us in Australia, New Zealand, and in the US, for example. Audience Choice Awards, quizzes and polls at technical workshops, quizzes and polls at sales leadership kickoffs, and at presentation and workshops and in expo areas. So product knowledge tests before, during, and after the event, crowdsourcing the topics. You could do an Amazing Race challenge by simply changing the question into a clue, so driving traffic into specific expo booth areas, and then actually having the physical challenge at the booth. You can do opinion comparisons before, during, and after. And you can also do a Choose Your Own Adventure live talk live in the session as well, to let the audiences actually vote what they want to actually, to listen more of your talk. Then I'm going to give you a sneak peek at our beta product. What that allows us to do is to then take polls and quizzes into the next level, which is geo-contextually relevant. So you meet or pass like Tinder after you've logged in, and then by just setting up beacons around the space. And then in real time, you can actually see how people move around the space. And obviously, this is opt-in only. So when you overlay where people are, and then being able to push polls and quizzes to large spaces, then suddenly polls and quizzes become geo-relevant. And this was just an idea that came up with at a hackathon weekend, and that at TechCrunch, and immediately we had good success from SAP, for example. So just to sum this up, we're the only platform that allows that web-based gamified social and rewards, great value for money. It's basically a rule of thumb. It's about $1 per targeted attendee. And yeah, so that's our price point. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Anybody got a question for Teresa? One question for Teresa? Anybody? Yes, one question again, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
I didn't see the room. I was asking, what are the different events that you've worked with? Apart from, say, the Samsung example you gave, can you just give us a bit more information about that?
Sure. So in the conference space, we did SidStart, which is Australia's largest startup exhibition last year. So what they did was they ran pitch competitions, and audiences was listening to the startups, and then they had to listen for and do quizzes so they better understood and gave that feedback back to the pitch teams, what they understood and didn't understand of each of the different products. And then expo areas, each booth participant was running their own poll and quiz. That was as well as workshops simultaneously through the 2 days. So that was about, I think, about 1,000 people. That's just one example. As I mentioned, Samsung did it for salespeople. So they did roadshows, testing product knowledge. So they would run specific product sessions at different stations. And after the training sessions, they would actually test. So they were running about 9 quizzes, and they would test what did the salespeople know and don't know. And they could then measure what the knowledge uplift was after the session, thereby demonstrating the ROI for the actual day itself. And then, as I said, because they were running through the country for an entire month, they were able to then improve the content and format time and time again.
Great. Okay. Well, Teresa, thank you very much for tuning in on Good for Us. And can we all thank Teresa? Okay, and we have him waiting in the wings. I'm going to have to put in a password here to get this presentation up, but we have Chris sitting here right in the front, who's ready. I'm not. I'm just waiting to get it. Yeah, sorry, let me just password there. This is a startup budget event. Okay, we've had that one, so we'll go to there. And sorry.
Cool, right, good. Right, good evening all. My name is Chris. I am the co-founder of a company called Akkroo. Akkroo is a software as a service platform, and so I'm going to spend a few minutes telling you a little bit more about who we are, what we do, the business. So, as a brief overview, Akkroo is an event, lead, and data capture solution. We'll go into a little more detail, just talking a little bit about why we exist as a business and the business challenges that we solve. So, just to give you a bit of background, the software started life actually back in 2010, designed with a very simple goal of replacing the need to use paper forms at events, at student recruitment events out on campus. We had our own problem. We were collecting a lot of data and paper. We need to solve that. We built a very basic app to work offline, run it on tablets and devices, and believe it or not, we had an existing relationship with IBM, of all people, and they were our first customer back in 2010. Doing hundreds of university events, collecting data in lots of different ways. They needed a single central solution to collect and process that candidate data, get it into existing systems. This is now a challenge that we solve for hundreds of companies all over the world now. So we then built up around 40 companies using it in the student recruitment market, and at the start of 2013 we spun off Akkroo as a standalone company, raised some seed funding, and haven't looked back since. So obviously we don't really need to tell everyone here that billions of pounds and dollars are spent every year on B2B, B2C events of all shapes and sizes, and there is still a shocking reliance on outdated ways of collecting data. Companies are still getting people spending paper forms, still putting business cards in folders, still even badge scanning, all these outdated processes, and the problems associated with doing something with that data is keeping it solved. So it says there's the shocking stat, 70% of leads collected at an event, whether it's B2B, B2C, are not followed up, and the ones that are, it's often incomplete and takes too long to get back to these people. So, how does that actually work? Well, at a very high level, the platform has been designed for companies that do events on scale and agencies that manage lots of events. There's three main aspects to it. There's the kind of pre-event management tools designed for designing and creating and deploying lead capture forms out to distributed teams. There's the app itself, that obviously works offline, runs on multiple tablet, mobile devices for actually the data collection lead capture piece. And then, crucially, there's the post-event action with that data, whether it's simply reporting and exporting data, or for most of our bigger clients, that is integrating with their existing CRM, EXP systems. Now, one of the challenges when I'm trying to explain it in such a short space of time is often people think, right, is this not just a glorified form on an iPad, or can SurveyMonkey not just do this and get your data out inside? So the best way of putting this into context is to actually give you a real-life case study. PayPal Europe, one of our biggest clients, do hundreds of events. Right before Akkroo, they do all the classic things at trade shows, paper forms, business cards, scanning badges. That data would basically come back to head office in London in drips and drabs, and would take them 4 weeks to actually get it into a local Salesforce action with that data. And then the telesales team at PayPal would be having to go to the events team for this incomplete lead data that were ringing people 4 weeks later. Now using Akkroo, their teams all over Europe are collecting data on tablets, mobile devices. We've got a real-time integration with the local where the leads are stored based on the data that's collected. Then it hits Salesforce, local follow-up. They're now turning around their lead response within 48 hours. And it's the right people contacting the right leads depending on the type of products. And from a head office perspective, they've now got a proper overview, oversight of the events they're running, the ROI piece, and which teams, which events are working well for. Who we work with, I mean, there's probably a high chance you've used Akkroo at an event or an experiential campaign. We work with a real wide range of companies now, both on the B2B and B2C side of things. So someone like Liverpool Football Club capturing support of data outside the stadium on match day, through to Mercedes-Benz using it for capturing test drive data at Waterloo Station, through to a whole world of medical, biomedical companies we've never heard of. We do 5,000 events a year, and we have this problem of capturing processing data. So yeah, that kind of is my whistle-stop tour of the crew. We're hiring for developers. Anyone knows anyone can fix it. Join the team. Yeah, we've got big growth plans. We've got 2 back-to-back really great years of growth, and we're obviously very excited about taking the products in the business. So yeah, happy to answer any questions. And now we'll answer them.
Does your system integrate registration? What you require to do?
Good at both really, depending on the type of event. If it's a big trade show where there's an incumbent event registration system, generally we won't integrate with the pre-event registration system. Actually, most of our clients don't mind that. They've moved away from scanning badges because actually they want to collect. They'd rather collect less leads, but with actual quality data that they need, than just scanning badges. So it depends on the type of event.
What's your own role in the organisation?
I'm the CEO, so I do everything, but mainly on the business development side of things, and product development, and all the fun stuff that goes with running a company.
In terms of product development, what do you see are the main opportunities for the data analytics side of
not really, because I guess see ourselves as a bit of a bridge. We bridge the gap between the live events and companies' existing systems. So we're not trying to become an analytics company, although we do have reporting and some of our small clients use that. But generally our bigger clients have already got an Akkroo HubSpot. They just want to get the data in there and do what it is they need to do with it. So we're more that, like I say, just going to bridge that gap between the live and the digital world.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chris. Okay, and waiting quite patiently is Rahul, who's tuned in. He's over in Canada. Where are you in Canada, Rahul?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Where are you in Canada?
We're from Toronto, Canada.
Toronto. There you go, Toronto.
Yeah.
So he's going to tell us all about Pheedloop.
Great.
Off you go.
All right, thanks. Hi, everyone. Sorry I couldn't be there in person today, but this is going to be a lot of fun, I hope. My name is Rahul. I'm one of the co-founders of Pheedloop. We're a very young event technology company. As a product, kind of what we are today, about a year old. All of us are actually still in school, and we're graduating in a couple of months. So it's been a crazy ride, kind of building what we did and then growing it to the point at which we've had some pretty cool success so far, and I'll go over all of that. I'm actually sitting right now at the incubator that we're working out of. It's pretty much Canada's largest incubator. It's called the Digital Media Zone. It's one of the floors is right behind me there, and it's a really great place. So if you're ever in Toronto, I'd love to show you around and meet up with you guys. But I just want to kind of start off by talking real quick about how we started up. We started off as a speaker feedback tool. So you heard a lot about feedback today. It was a great kind of way for us to introduce ourselves to the event industry. We never thought about going and pursuing it entrepreneurially at that point. But after a lot of experience working with a lot of cool conference speakers, we saw a lot more opportunity going forward as an event technology tool altogether, because we noticed a couple of problems in the industry which have been mentioned in some capacity already. But we've experienced some success. We're in the middle of raising a seed round right now, and things are looking good. So what I'll do to introduce Pheedloop is essentially talk about the two problems that we're tackling. There's a lot of great event technology out there today. We've played around with a lot of it, and I've been really impressed and inspired by a lot of it. The two biggest problems we've found so far are that a lot of them are native, and the download rates are really low, and that eventually converts, even for the people who do download it, to very low engagement rates. The truth is, and we talked a lot to a lot of people, even in our area, you might know of EventMobi, for example, one of the largest and one of the first event app type companies out there. We're good friends with them, and it was a really interesting time a couple of years ago when everybody was really excited about downloading apps. It was a great novelty, but now it's changed, and people are a lot more choosy, picky, and busy when it comes to that kind of stuff. And engagement, we feel like a lot of apps out there just throw a schedule at you or information, and they're not really engaging. So we're trying to solve these two problems. And the first way we solve the first problem about onboarding and getting people to use it is going completely 100% web-based. That's helped us create a seamless, lightweight solution. It's a DIY platform where you kind of just check out, build your page, or we build it for you. Really easy, inexpensive. It's helped us keep the price really low. We even called it WordPress for event apps in some cases, so that might give you an idea of what we do. And then this solution, by being completely web-based, definitely helps us boost engagement, and I'll show you a quick demo in a second. Because we've kind of tried to bring the interactivity of live polling and questioning and discussions and networking and all that into the same platform, keeping it web-based, and as a consequence, rewarding people to actually use the application in different ways. And yeah, so I'll actually jump into a quick screen share the product with you guys, and we'll see what you guys think. So let me know if you can see my screen now. Oops. I love it when that happens. Are we good? Can you see my screen?
No, we can't see you, Rob.
Okay. Whoa. That's not good. Let me try that again. Okay, this time it should work. Yep. Okay, great. So yeah, this is our home page, and the cool thing again about being completely web-based is you can actually play around with a fully featured live demo right on our home page, and that's really helped us bring in some of our initial customers because they have the ability to play around with the whole thing right there. But a sample page would look something like this, where you have the ability to do many different things. The first thing we focus on is speaker-attendee interaction. So if I click on Edwin, for example, you have the ability first to leave him feedback, and that's one of the most important things for us. Traditionally, feedback rates are 10, 15% maybe. We've seen it increase to over 60%, 70% in our case, just because we do a couple of things. In addition to keeping it really simple, we reward the attendee. So if you leave feedback, you get to unlock their slides. You can download slides. You get to unlock their contact information. You get to enter raffles right away. You know, I can just enter in some dummy feedback here, hit submit. Let me just rate them real quick. And I can enter a raffle, and it's really fun. We have a system where it kind of selects the winner at the end of the conference and at the end of the talk, whatever it might be, and rewards people that way, and it's really helped us. You might also notice two other tabs, live polling and asking questions. They do essentially what they say. You can do live polling, and you can ask questions in real time during the presentation, and we make moderating this really simple on a per speaker basis, also keeping it web-based. Speakers don't have to create an account. All you have to do is send them a link to their specific session dashboard where they have the ability ahead of time to add in polls, activate them during their talk, even add in polls on the fly, moderate the questions. All of this is being refreshed and constantly updated in real time. Then we have some other things, like you might expect, the schedule, which is integrated with each session page. You can add it to your personal schedule. We have Spot Meet, which has been really powerful for us. I'm logged in, so you won't see it, but you can sign in with LinkedIn or Twitter, and you can start chatting with people. You can start messaging people and viewing their profile and all that in real time, which has made it pretty impressive for us. The thing we do lack, of course, not being native, is the ability to run push notifications, but email has helped us a lot with that. You can view your messages, you can engage in discussions. The purpose of this, and it's helped us boost engagement for the application before the actual event. You have galleries, you have information, directions.
Well, can I pull you up there, because we're out of time, I'm afraid.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
It's been great to hear from you. Has anybody got a quick question for Rahul before he goes? No questions, Rahul. But can we have you back on the screen?
Yeah, I'm.
Okay. Bye-bye, Rahul. Thank you very much. Okay, and the last person we have here tonight is Tom, who's from Grallo, and he's going to tell you all about what he's got, and I think, yeah, there's a presentation up there, Tom.
So first, I just want to say thank you, James, for organising this. I've been a part of Event Tech Labs for 4 months now or something, and I think it's a great initiative, and I'm glad that we've brought this to come together. So I've been running Grallo for about 2.5 years. 2 years of that I've been in India, and we've iterated a bit, and we've been kind of on the roads in India and running buses, and it's been quite an experience in many different ways. But in its current guide, we are the first platform for crowdfunding and crowdsourcing coach transport directly to events. Another way of looking at it is like a centrally managed transport platform for events and venues. So, giving the venue, giving the event control of all the different forms of transport that is coming to that particular event. At the moment, the market is completely sporadic. You've got some coaches coming from here, you've got 70% drivers. Generally, there's no one way of doing it. And the reason we set up the business, or I set up the business, was because we wanted to make transport more efficient, reduce the carbon footprint, and we wanted to bring people together to enjoy the journey whilst they're traveling. We thought that it would be a compelling mix, and we've been working on that for some time. So we've done, I've just come back from India, in fact, and in India we did around 75 events across the entire spectrum of the event industry, sports, music, corporate. We turned over a certain amount of money to kind of prove the model. We've done 12,000 journeys, we've had 50,000 users, improving our technology. Obviously, it's important to have the user experience, the UI, increasing on a regular basis. It's important to tell you guys what the user story is. It's simply for an event attendee, they're going to come to Grallo. It's the one-stop shop to get to the event. And what we really do at the back end is we bring all the options and we make that visible for the event goer. And previously that has never really been the case. So whether it's coaches, in due course I'd like to bring in carpooling, taxis. Let's get together and get to the event. Let's make Boomset accessible to Arsenal. Let's make Cumbria accessible to Torquay, whatever it is, and get people to share that journey to the event. Or you book it yourself, but make it very easy to do so. Just to run through our model, we don't run the transport. I don't want to get involved in transport. We did it in India. It's a complete nightmare. We'll let the transport providers do that. From a sales perspective, we sell into the venues, we sell into the events, and we piggyback on their marketing. That's the key aspect. We need them to refer us to their customers, and then the deal goes on from that. In terms of the revenue model, we take a percentage of each piece of transport which is booked. So a user can come on and book this transport, and we take a percentage of them. I've given you a bit of background about the story, but we've been in India for 2 years. I went on a crazy run in Central Europe for about a month. I left my corporate job, that was an important part, and it's been the best decision of my life. We raised some money by crowdfunding appropriately, and that's where we are today. I've just entered, we've just entered the UK market. I've got a team in India, and we're kind of trying to size it up and work out where to go next. We all know about the events industry, and so I'll whiz past that. It's a big industry. We do have some competitors. There's 3 that we know of at the moment. Rallybus does the same kind of thing, which is crowdfunding, crowdsourcing of coaches in the space. Chariot does crowdfunding of coach transport generally. So whilst we look at the events market as an exciting opportunity, we also see the probability that we can move it into other fields like schools, like public transport. Who had a bad time on the tube today? How about we give you a Wi-Fi bus, crowdfund that from backseat to the city? But let's focus on the events for now. The team is there's my partner Sam Badlad, and Ed Sanders is a tech guy, and we've got a great team in India as well. And Mark Davies here is one of our investors. He was one of the founders of Betfair. I think they're in the process of concluding a happy merger with Paddy Power, so he's feeling happy at the moment. And I won't give you a demo, but I'm very happy to take any questions that you have. Yeah.
Is there a platform for user interaction? So if I was going to an event, someone else is getting the same coach. Does it have that kind of conversation through the actual system?
Sure. So there's a big social element to it. Like the 2 key reasons we brought, we set up the business was the social and environmental aspect. And so when you book your bus, you can have a chat. You can have a chat with the guys who are on the bus on the page as well. So you can log in and then work out. And there's a lot you can do, in fact, in terms of technology when you're actually on buses, in terms of meeting people and stuff like that as well. Cool.
Are you thinking of turning it around as well as a platform where you can come on your platform and see what events you're working with and then do my events that make sense at the same time?
Oh, of course, that's a very obvious, it's a very obvious way of taking it as well. I was talking to Ascot Racecourse the other day, and one of the big factors is that you book your ticket, you book your transport, you're sort of part of the package. So selling the tickets is a clear next step.
I mean, you're actually using the cost of the ticket sales, or you use spread very fast.
So at the moment in the UK, I'm kind of feeling our way. The model we took in India and start taking in India is that we reduce the friction as much as possible with the event because they put our marketing. So yeah, the answer is yes. Any other questions?
Okay, Tom, thank you very much. Okay, and one of my favourite speakers, and I thought I'd treat you all tonight. This is not, it is a bit about startups, isn't it?
Unfortunately, I've had lots of experience in that world.
But I'm going to introduce you now to Jen Bickerdike, who's going to tell you all about her experiences and talk about Fandom and how to get users and stuff like that. So please welcome Jen.
So my name is Jennifer Otter Bickerdike. You can probably tell I'm not from here. I don't think it gives it away. But I actually grew up near Silicon Valley in a small beach town called Santa Cruz in California. So I lived through the first and the second bubble in Silicon Valley. And when the second one happened in 2008, I said, you know what, I'm going to sell everything I own and move to England and get a PhD, because that's what most people do, right? So you probably have heard of, you've probably heard of some of the companies I worked for. Most of my career has been spent working in the music industry. I was the West Coast Director of Marketing for the biggest record company in the world. It's called Interscope Geffen E&M. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this gentleman right here. Dr. Dre, Sting, Facebook, and then I did a lot of startups. I was saying to George, Corey George, looking very handsome in the back. I was saying to George, I did a lot of startups that you probably have never heard of, because just like bands, there's a lot of startups that happen and they don't quite make it over the hump. So the two things are quite similar. This is just, the presentation is kind of askew right now. This is more band that people I work with. I always like to remind people of Limp Bizkit. You're just like disgusted. He's like, let's not talk about Limp Bizkit. It's like I talk about venereal disease or something. The reason I like to talk about remind you about Limp Bizkit. You guys remember Limp Bizkit? It's a great example of a band that did not have organic fans. Okay, and so what we talk about today is kind of the commandments for how to make fans, right? Is there a way, James? Is there a way to kind of shrink down this PowerPoint? Because this is like one slide. It's
spread over. Oh, I see. Like that.
Yeah, that's part actually.
Let me stretch it out.
You can see what's going on. Sorry, I'm just eating into my time. Has anyone seen Straight Outta Compton? Yeah, you like it? The longer, like when we walk to the theater, my husband's like, I didn't like it very much. He's a big hip hop head, and he's like, that they didn't include, this they didn't include, and I was like, my little boss was in that. Like, it's weird seeing your old boss traumatizes somebody. But the longer it went after, like, the longer it went after I'd seen it, so I started a conversation with
I'm getting cold over.
The longer it went after I saw it, I was just like, Drake, like, it was food. And, like, Ice Cube was like, I'm Ice Cube, I'm saving the day! Should I just keep talking anyway? Okay. So, this is about going to events, which a lot of you already probably know about. But you can use these same things. The reason I go into all these things, about the biscuits, you did it all for the Nifty, I can tell. The reason I go into Limp Bizkit and Facebook and startups that didn't work and things that did work is because you can use a lot of the same ideas to get fans for an event, get fans for your startup. What you want is what I call investors. Not investors with the cheddar, aka the money. But investors, people are going to feel like they're part of your company, and they feel like they're part of the reason you're being successful. So I think you guys have it now.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, awesome. So of course, presentation is not a presentation without Charleston Heston. Okay? Now this has absolutely nothing to do with this presentation, but I just had to play this. Can I play it? Is it that button?
No.
Okay, ready?
Get your sticky paws off me, you damn dirty ape.
That has nothing to do with the rest of the presentation. I just had to show it because Charleston Heston, and I always get it wrong. I'm always like, people. It's really great as people, and I always get that one wrong too. But anyway, okay. Oh crap! I can't get enough of it. Is it this one? If any of my old students are watching at home, they all know that even though I've worked at quite a few startups, I worked in Silicon Valley, I'm like a total trained, like, not even chimpanzee, like a slug. I'm like, how do you do it? Anyway, so these are my commandments, okay? And I hope I got the thou and the thou right. I was trying to look really kind of English because that's my marketplace, you know what I mean? That's how you guys talk. So commandment number one is know thy fan. Or kind of more importantly, who do you want to be your fan? That's a big one. We'll get more into this. Because a lot of times, it's like, nothing is less sexy to me when I was single than you meet some guy who's like, I like all music. It's like, no, you don't. Don't lie to me. So same thing with the fan. Who do you want to be your fan? Okay. So let's say Event Ninja. Some fat, horrible chav walking with an Event Ninja shirt on. You're gonna be like, yeah, those are my people. Or you're gonna be like, oh, fuck no. Okay. So you're not gonna do it. Know the marketplace. This is kind of an obvious one, but I think people really see it. Oh my gosh, so excited. So know thy marketplace. Who else shared a similar brilliant idea with you? How many times have you guys been like, dude, I have the most awesome idea, and then you run to GoDaddy and some other mofo has that URL. You're like, I don't think so. Very important. This is I think one that people don't think about, and that is all about them. You have to tap into personal investment, okay? And figure out who is that fan and what's going to make them feel like you're directly marketing to them. Number 4 is, now you have the fan, how do you keep them? How do you keep them hooked? And the last one is getting new fans and retaining original investors. We only have like 5 minutes left or something. Okay. So, know thy fan. Okay, so I'm not just saying, yeah, I want people. No, okay? You gotta dig down into those demographics, people. Okay, down, I mean down, okay? Who knows what a dink is? Come on, this guy's a dink, I can tell right there. Are you a dink? Yeah, I knew it. You look like it. If I was single, I'd say call me. Anyway, no, so dink is double income, no kids, right? So double income, no kids. We gotta go deeper though, okay? Where are these people shopping? Do they shop in Walmart? Do they, I mean, this is like for me, it's like the most depressing place ever to go. Like, go there and I'm like, anyway, are they Topshop? Are they Louis Vuitton? Are they Asian? Are they straight? Are they gay? Are they trans? Who are these people? You need to get down and dirty into those demographics. Because without knowing that, you're marketing to too big of a crowd of people, right? So one of my favorite all-time students, Lucy, is raise your hand, Lucy. Lucy just came in. So Lucy's fabulous and I love her and we talk a lot, but she's like 21 and she's cute, and I'm an old, curmudgeonly 43-year-old, okay? We both have vaginas, but that's probably as far as what we want to do goes, in terms of what we have in common. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving it. As far as the vagina. Next one. Yeah, next one's okay. So, how's the vagina in there somewhere? Okay, so next thing is, how do your customers, where do your people, sorry, I meant Ninja, where do they get their information? Are they using Twitter? Are they using Instagram? Are they doing Snapchat? Are they reading the paper, okay? Are they using my favorite device, the can and string? You guys want to refer to or it's the pigeon, right? Somehow they're getting the mail. So, how are you Luddites? Or maybe it's like Luddite-ish. Like, I can't see how many writers are giving me their business card with a typewriter on it. And I'm like, no, none of you have typewriters these days. But maybe that's your fan. Maybe it's like a quasi-hipster Luddite. So where are your fans getting their information from? Okay, yes, this is a good one. I'm ignoring these notes. Is that okay? Yeah. The notes are the sticks. So this goes back to a second ago about where your fans are getting their information, knowing your marketplace, and just being aware of your surroundings. Now, do I have any people here that have been to San Francisco?
That's my house.
No way. Really? Caitlin will feel what I'm saying. So I'm like 19, I have my first job in the music business. I'm driving my BMW. I'm driving through this neighborhood, which Caitlin can't say, but the rainbow flags may give it away, okay? I'm driving through Castro, and I'm like, boys, so you want on this? Nobody's looking at me. I'm walking around, topless, not getting any digits. So you have to know your marketplace, okay? Are people interested in your goods and services that you have available, okay? Know the marketplace. And then going back to who would you want to be, if Event Ninja had Mickey Pollard from Little Britain wearing his shirt, would he be like, yeah? Or would he be like, crack please? Yeah. Or my favorite, Corey and Corey Feldman from Lost Boys, I'm still weeping over Freaking Guy. Or for the biggest slag ever, in my opinion. Kardashian, but people love her. Is that what you want? So who would be your perfect ideal fan, and who would you be stoked to see wearing your stuff? Okay, so this is come that thing. You see that for me, Caitlin?
No, that marketplace.
No, that's right here. Yes, commandment number 2. I was too scared to say it. And that is, who else shares a similar brilliant idea as you? So just dig, if you will, this picture. I'm 30. I know, happens to us all. I'm single. I'm in San Francisco where everybody's gay. And I think, you know what I'm going to do for some extra money on the side? I'm going to start a club night. The club night I wanted to start, I'm so sorry, it was a club night with all the music that I would like bet and blast in my car and I'd like, you know, dance around my house too, but nobody would admit to liking, okay? I was going to call it Let's Pheedloop. After breaking 2, for those of you that know, I like you. Wow. Yeah, that's right, yeah, it would get me going, okay? So this is a picture of me DJing. So the reason I use this as an example, I'm this tall, awkward white kid. I'm like, I'm throwing a hip hop night, okay? So this is where it goes with this, and that's what I call the Aunt Patty rule. My Aunt Patty is a 70-year-old, yet very kind of a Helen, what's Helen Mirren? Yeah, she's like a Helen Mirren, like a sassy, like kind of like a gilf. So when you're, I was saying, and I usually like to Google it like someone as an example, okay, is you have to have a very, after you've done your research and you say, okay, who's doing it? At that time, nobody was doing like a kind of, I call it booty music. Nobody was doing booty music, okay? So nobody else is doing it. I'm like, okay, we're giving you my USP. Make it as simple as possible so I can explain to Aunt Patty, who I saw about a month ago. She's a Jennifer Counter in your website. It's horrible. So think about it. All you guys are doing the pitches. I mean, your pitch, I think it should be so quick and easy that Aunt Patty is like, oh, good Ninja, I totally get it. So keep it slick, keep it simple. The way to like your Googler, we had the tiniest venue possible, like 30 people with what was going on. And then the week before we would do it, we would send out an email to all of our friends and people that come before and say, what requests do you have? And then, of course, the most important thing, cheap-ass booze, okay? Now, oh, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Am I still okay on time? So going back to the idea of marketing, before I'd invite someone, I would to the party, I'd give them a flyer and ask them, are you familiar with this artist? You hear it? So if people can, like, you know, get down the hammer pants, then I know I want them at my club. Lastly, one of the other USBs we did, one of the other USBs we did is we would have like old movies from the 80s. Can you go back for one more? Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'll start speaking up. We used to have old like VHS movies from the 80s playing in the background. Now I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a classic that sadly has not been put onto DVD. I can't believe it. It's called Cool as Ice. No, and it has this classic line. Yep. Assistant. Oh, he's gone. Vanilla Ice now has this weird like home makeover show. You guys hear it? Drop that hero. Drop the zero and get the hero. So we would have these videos playing in the background. So back to Know Thy Marketplace. Nobody else was doing it. We were doing it super cheap. We're doing it in a small place. We were inviting people that would understand the brilliance of MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice. Okay? And we had really cheap drinks. And going back to the other things about investment, we would ask people, what random booty shaking song do you want to hear? Do you want to hear Velvet with a Poison? Do you want to hear Never Gonna Let You Down? That one, like, what do you want to hear? Okay, so that was part of the investment. Okay, so this is my commandment number 3. And this is, it's all about them, tapping into the identity and the personal investment of the people that you want to come. Now, I use the example here of, sadly, I don't have a picture of myself from this era, but of myself. I grew up in Santa Cruz, California, like I said. I've never been to England. But I dressed what I thought was English, which was basically I wore lots of liquid eyeliner and lots of vintage clothing and frosted either blue or silver, because that's how you guys all dress, right? And I thought I was the only one. This is like in like the mid-90s. I thought I was the only one, like super cool alternative, right? And then I moved to San Francisco, and this club night started called Pop Scene. And suddenly I realized there's a whole bunch of us that have grown up in California, never been to England, and all think that everybody dresses like Phil from Quadrophenia. Okay? And so what Pop Scene was, my ex-boyfriend started it in 1996 with some of his friends. It started at a really, really small club. And it was the first time all of us Californian kids thought we were so cool. We could hear the music that we thought was the soundtrack of England. Okay, and which would have been exported to us, aka we were miserable like the Smiths, you know. we were super like, you know, funky like the Stone Roses. I was personally doing drugs like Sean White. Okay. So, and this is a flyer. So it started out being really, really small. It was like this tribe, and like you counted down the days to go. You planned out what outfit, what exact silver sparkling eyeshadow you were going to wear. I mean, people got married, people got friends. And like I said, it started in 1996, and it's still, yeah, I think I'm ready for the next one. It's still going today, which is why I call command number 4, get them hooked. So Popsy started, there's maybe like 50 of us maximum. So getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and so now this is normal for us all to go wear our vintage clothes and have bouffant hair like English people, and listen to Paul Blue House. So what are they going to do next to make it more interesting? They're going to invite bands and they come to town to play. So some nights, I mean, I'm sitting there again, I'm from Santa Cruz, California, and Zena Albar would be like this next to me, and I'd be like trying to, you know, get next to him. But the fact that like these huge British pop stars are there, they invite the pop stars down. So you knew as a fan that you were going to get to see or hopefully see some of your wanted.
Carry on.
Okay. Okay. So either you there or someone that appreciated the values. And so now after that, what do they do next? Then they start having British bands come. I don't know if you can see this, it's really far away. This is the Amy Winehouse's first show was at Pop Scene. The Ting Tings were at Pop Scene. So suddenly now Pop Scene has this whole, if you would, this legacy. They can say we were the first for all these really amazing bands. We were the people that brought you them. You heard it here first. Here they pull. And one of these they've done, to keep it fresh and new, is they've changed. Before it was indie Britpop mod. Okay. Now of course only old people like me still know what Britpop is. So now what they call it is, they call it San Francisco's premier indie dance club. So they're, thank you. So they're getting new fans, and then how are they going to keep the original investors? Now this is a screenshot I took the other day, and I'm like, oh, there's no way in hell I'm good at this. Okay, there's someone with a mustache. There's someone with a mustache. Again, if you're like 18 years old, you're like, dude, I have a man bun, I have my mustache, I have to be there. Okay? So they're getting new fans that way. And again, they're bringing new indie bands to play just like they did originally. Now for all the old, almost done, James, for all the old folks like me, you're like, what's this retaining original investors? They now have a night which is a monthly, which is called Leisure, okay? And basically, do you remember the first time? Is it a much smaller? No. Look at the sex match right here. So, the other one is 18 and over, okay? And I was just talking to someone yesterday, she's like, I'm 22, I don't go to 18 and over. So can you imagine my broke 43-year-old ass and posse, and it'd be like, who's grandma, and we're trying to be cool. But here at Leisure, I'm totally fine because it's 21 and over. Okay? It's only my child, not my grandchild, that's going to be there. But they're playing all the music that Pop Scene started out with. So they basically created a night for Pop Scene's original investors to graduate up to. And I didn't know this, I hadn't talked to him in donkey's years. I just pulled this off the web. This is actually a set list that my ex-boyfriend who started Pop Scene, he did, because now he DJs at Leisure. So you can see whole Oasis, Echo Valley, Supergrass, Blur. That's what rich people listen to, right? I'm almost done. I just had to put that up there. Cool Britannia, 75% off. I guess it's not in anymore. I almost on time. Do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns? More talk about dicks, vaginas, or anything else? No questions? All right. I'm going to go get some deep fried food then. It's ready in here.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, James?
No, I don't. I think we should all say thank you very much. Who's organising events here, he's got a few things that he wants to talk to you about, and a little fun activity, I think.
I've clearly got the graveyard shift when you follow on. Yeah, as James says, Matt and Adam, the co-founder of Play2 Lead. EventTech Live is Europe's largest free-to-attend event dedicated to event technologies, like startups today, and some of the leading companies in the world as well. And one of the things that we believe in quite strongly is that the audience should be put in the driving seat of the content that appears at EventTech Live. We're not in charge of who speaks and what they speak about. We want to put our attendees in charge of that. And part of that process is to get some of our exhibitors and sponsors to submit content for people to see, go online, and ultimately choose what appears at the event. So we've hijacked James' event tonight to invite some of those key exhibitors here, 6 in total, so not too long, to deliver a 60-second pitch. That pitch will be obviously presented to you and put online for people to go on next week. And hopefully they can tell you a little bit more about themselves as well. The pitch is only lasts 60 seconds, so 6 minutes in total, that's 6. First up, we have Mike from Glissa, followed by Jamie from Event-Based, Matt from Cedent, Nick from Crowdhunters, Rob from Forge Special Projects, and then finally Ken from Round End. So Mike from Glissa, if you'd like to join us. And if anybody comes over, feel free to tell us. I don't know what to say. So my name is Mike from Glissa, and we actually launched an EventTech Live last year. Since then, we've grown, we've worked with a lot of big clients. So what do? So we make presentations interactive. So as you've just seen, presentations still form a really key part of any event. And people want that content. You see people taking photos of presentations all the time. People want that content, they want to take it in, they want to share it. We made that really easy. How easy? Well, we ran 2 events last week. One comment was, this is idiot proof. Comment 2 was, this is fucking brilliant. So, how do we complete that from the version that goes on the internet? So, we've done something, we're doing live slide sharing, audience polling, audience interaction, a lot of those things you see from a lot of events companies. We've just made it ridiculously simple and at a price that anyone can afford, for even the smallest event, a meeting of 30 people, a meeting of 2,000 people. So if you want to hear more about that, vote for me to speak again at EventTech Live. I also forgot one more person to jump as well.
So I'm Matt from Cedent. You are the CIPK, the Chartered Institute of Porpoise Juggling. Of course, you have your weekly Flipper series of public ticketed events. And then there's Bottlenose Live, the biannual conference with insurance professionals, entertainers, people from all over the world. There was the year you tried to run both of them on Excel and went crazy. Then the year where a simple ticketing system couldn't keep up with the demands of the conference. And another where the big enterprise management platform just turned the simple events into a bit of a overspec nightmare. This year, we would love to help. You may know this event from about 1 million of those more complex events that we've supported, but we're now launching Cedent Express. It's a simpler version, better targeted to those other events. The vision when we were launching it was for a plan to build a whole event, email, website, everything in 5 minutes flat. We would love the chance to take the stage at EventTech Live and show you that with a timer. See if we can achieve it and take questions at any time we have that. So thank you very much for listening to that. Please vote if you'd like to see more of that happen.
Hi everybody, I've got time to do a selfie. I've always wanted to do this. But I'm going to do it. Let me turn the chat. Everybody, I'm going to put it on Twitter. Right. Everybody get it? You ready to? There we go, I'm going to do it. So, events are all about experiences. That's why I did that. I do feel like kind of events or something, just being on stage and doing that. But it's all about experiences. Now, how do you make those experiences personal? How do you personalise those? You can't. Actually, you can't. Yes, you can. You can. The reason why is because crowdfunders now invest heavily in personalising events for all kinds of events. Now, Kevin over here, sorry, Kevin, you know, it's not Kevin. Kevin over here is a VIP at the event we're all at the moment. Lucy over in the corner, I'm looking at a bunch of guys, and none of them is going to go. Lucy in the corner over there is a speaker at the event. Now, Lucy goes to the event, downloads the event app. Lucy will see an icon for the speakers going where the speaker stage is, where that stage access is. And then Kevin over here will log into the app, and he'll be able to see these VIP drinks he's going to be able to go to tonight, because it's all personalised content relevant for each individual delegate. This is something that I believe is the future of event apps, is personalisation. And if you want to know more about how Crowdfund is doing this, then vote for me. Vote for Pedro. Vote for me. So I'll tell you a little bit more at Events Live. So thank you.
That's overall the commercial director for special projects. We do football related to the events industry, experiencing marketing activity, a conference, trade shows, or festivals. We simply measure people how they move around the event. So we do demographics, people's names, 25 to 30-year-olds. 25 to 30-year-olds, how they move around the event, how do they stay in a certain place. We start pushing marketing out to them, and they make them resonate. So we're in Event Tech Live, doing our data, doing live event and analytics and the Wi-Fi. So please vote for us, and we'll be there in delivery.
I was doing this about 5 minutes ago, so I'm reading this one. Jamie Bull from Eventbase, yet another event platform. We specialise in premier events with clients with Akkroo to Southwest through to our festival. Vote for me, and you'll get insight to some of the clients and some of the case studies that we use for wearable technology, IP technology, gamification, identifying your key audience, how to make them feel special at the event. Thank you.
Next up, we have Kate from around there.
I need to see.
Oh, right, do you want to do yours last actually?
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you what, we'll invite Andrea from Joe.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrea and I'm the CEO and founder of John. As an excellent organizer, I believe that stuff matters. 8 out of 10 people that are attending event believe that event stuff was actually what made the event valuable and memorable because they were there when they gave it the most. However, we know that in 50% of disruption created events is made by when stuff was inefficient. And we all know that finding great stuff takes time consuming and takes a lot of effort. You need to spend time scheduling the role, selecting the right people, interviewing them, and then also trying to go for them in case someone doesn't show up or any cancellation. But we believe that stuff should be easy and simple. We are launching Jump, which is an online platform that will help you to organize the stuff in the event. From your own staff or people from our community, you will be able to pick the role, select the right candidate you would like thanks to our reviews and pictures, and at the same time actually post-event happening. We believe that in this way you will save time, you will avoid the high fees of staffing agency, and at the same time you gain control over your staff again in order so that you can focus to deliver the highest and the most memorable experience. So really our goal is in staff. Thank you and watch for it.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to break them all. So I'm Ken Morphy, founder of Around Then. The question is, who are you going to miss today in terms of networking with, and I'm going to show you our app, Around Then, how it can help you to network more easy at events such as this. So it's all about business networking made easy. It's a proximity-based business networking app that uses Bluetooth between phones to allow you to actually see profiles and connect with people. It allows you to share check-ins on LinkedIn and Yammer and Chatter. It uses Bluetooth beacons to push personalized notifications when you arrive at the event.
It automatically checks you into that event so you can see other people that are around the event. You can view them at a point or up to a week after. So on the train the way back or a few days after, you can connect with them. We have a proximity portal which allows event organisers to see users after the event, and it's a free download on iOS, Android, and Windows. So great for them.
Thank you, and my name is Tim from Colorado. But today I want to talk about the mobile apps that CDEN offers for checking delegates through the door, because I'm sure we all know that long queues and long wait times are a huge source of frustration for both parties. For your delegates, because they spend thousands of dollars to fly in, and they really want to get through to the keynote speaker. I think worse for yourselves trying to run around and figure out where everyone's name badge is. So we introduced a mobile app that you can download onto your phone to check people in at a simple event where there's maybe 40 or 50 people here. Bridget, I was in Birmingham earlier today. The fact that I don't have to manually check everyone in on train back and can enjoy hanging out with all of you is really nice. But of course, we also can manage larger events. We hosted a 60,000 person event and checked everyone in for their badges on demand as well. So that's really the scope that we can do, but the end goal is the same. Make it a lot easier for both yourselves and as well as the delegates. So if you want to learn more, just hope for me. Thank you.
Thanks to all the guys that pitched tonight. If you want to see these guys deliver and learn more, then go to the event live with us in November. It takes place at 2 Monroe. Free to attend the event and registration to get in. Keynotes, 20 tech demos, over 20 campfire sessions, and 60 of the leading event technology providers in the world. Thank you very much.
Okay, well that's it. We've got some pizza coming upstairs in a minute. So if you want to get another drink, have a chat, and do the networking, and we'll finish up at 9 o'clock. Thanks for coming.